So I wanted to mess around with those Facebook 3D photo things and use Blender to render a quick scene. Zoom in a bit. So if you want to render one of these 3D photo things, take any photo, slap on a depth map, and then you get this kind of pseudo 3D effect. And I've done that here with this one. So this is a scene I did earlier in Blender. But the thing that was driving me absolutely crazy was trying to actually render out this depth map. So there's a few things, and I'll just quickly model something. Right, let's just do okay, so then I'll do right, so we've got our image. So if I just let's just delete this and start again. Oh, balls. If I go back to here, here's the scene in Blender. Very straightforward. I'm using Eevee now just because it takes milliseconds to render over cycles, but for your final one you might want to use cycles. So the compositing setup, if you go to the compositing layout, it's fairly straightforward. So obviously we've got our render layers. The depth goes into a normalize node, and that means you get a nice consistent grayscale output, which you then feed into a file output, and the same for the image. And then I'll go back to the other bit where I load the images. Oh god! There's probably a better way of doing it, so yeah, if someone else in the comments knows of a way to get the actual depth field rendering in here, because if I just select it from the render output, it's completely white, and I have no idea why. So how do you actually load the images onto Facebook? Very simple. 2 pictures. Select the picture and then the depth map, and then it knows from that order to turn it into a 3D picture. And that sort of works, I guess. So flat surfaces look pretty good. Okay, so that failed. So yeah, sometimes you'll upload stuff and it just won't work, so you have to upload it again. But anyway, so that's that. So I would say ask me questions, but I've only just figured this out from a bit of Google, so I just thought I'd share this because it's kind of cool and quite easy to do. So yeah, depth map, picture, load the picture first into Facebook. Depth map has to be the same name as the picture with underscore depth on the end, and then that will do the thing. And yeah, I guess just experiment, I suppose. You probably could do the same thing in Photoshop. You don't need to do it in Blender. You could do it with painting grayscale in Photoshop or something, I suppose. But yeah, for the Blender people, it's quite fun to build a scene, do a depth map, and then stick it on Facebook and get the sort of pseudo 3D effect. But yeah, that's it. So hopefully this inspired you. So if you watch this and do something with it, post a comment. I'm curious to see what you do. So yeah, enjoy. See you next time.